idea what was coming. And obviously she was a deer in the headlights.
Richard Herman, also defense attorney. You know, I'm thinking, gee whiz, this is supposed to be the environment that shakes the truth loose? Forgive me for being a little skeptical. What do you think?
Hey, Pat. Law enforcement knew the crowds were outside. They saw them gathering out there hours before they let her go. Michelle is absolutely right. They should have taken her out a back door, out of a side entrance.
But that's not the sheriff's job. That's up to, I know California is a different place, but I know that every time there's a high-profile case and there's all the media, what the defense attorney does is calls the sheriff and says, help me find a way to make this less public. And I don't think Mr. Baez bothered with that.
It wasn't Baez's responsibility. They saw what was going on there. They should have made arrangements. They should never have let her walk into that crowd. They put her life in danger by doing that today.
Really? That's
yes.
that's very interesting. Mark Williams, what are some of the terms that under which she must abide?
Well, there's a couple of terms, Pat, and the first thing is there's a 10-page document that she had to sign. This afternoon she got a visit from a case manager, but in that document it says you cannot have weapons, you cannot drink alcohol, you can't hold a job, you can go certain places like to a job or to a hospital or to a dentist or whatever, but you've got to tell your case manager ahead of time. No suggestive clothing. You could be up for a urinalysis test in a heartbeat, and if you abscond or break any of the rules in this 10-page document, you could be back in the Orange County Jail in a heartbeat.
Natisha Lance, Nancy Grace, producer, I understand she can go to church and she can look for a job. Any likelihood?
I was saying that you guys should roll on it, but he just...
Okay, I don't know what that was, but let's move on to a caller. How about Alice in Kentucky? Hello, Alice.
Hi, Pat. Good evening.
Hi.
I have not heard anything about whether they have, like, personal vacation property or even a storage unit somewhere.
A storage unit. Okay, Natisha, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay, does the family have vacation property or a storage unit that you know of?
I'm having a hard time hearing you, Pat.
You poor girl. Look at that weather. All right, I'll give you a break here. Mark Williams, have you heard anything about vacation property or storage?
Have not heard anything about vacation property or storage units or anything of that nature. That is a great question, and I think police have probably looked at that, but they have not released that information as of yet, Pat.
It sure is. Leonard Padilla, give us, you know, there's all this going back and forth about whether she's on GPS or whether it's just an ankle. Would you settle this matter for us? What exactly is she wearing?
She's wearing a bracelet that if she moves 150 feet away from the telephone, it'll break the connection. Law enforcement will probably be there in 3 minutes. There's no GPS, so she has to stay confined. And I like the fact that there's a ton of media out there, because let me tell you, there's not going to be crawling out a window or any of that stuff. And as far as our security, they've got the security knowing that there's a ton of media out there and everybody's got a camera.
Well,
I like that.
Well, I don't know if the family's happy about that, because I heard that
I can't help it. They're better being safe and unhappy than happy and unsafe.
Well, I heard that the mother, Cynthia, threatened to turn the hose on the reporters today. I can't confirm that. I've just heard it.
Look, you didn't know my mother, let me tell you.
I know my mother, though.
Cindy's a pussycat compared to my mom.
Well, I hope it worked out in your favor.
It will. It'll work out. Everything's going along fine. And here, don't criticize Baez and don't criticize the sheriff, people at the jail.
I can't help it, because I got to believe if you're really concerned about finding Caylee and helping this woman find a nice, sensitive, calm environment, this is not the way to do it. But Robert Dick, let me ask you this. One of the things I read I found interesting was if for some reason she's able to break free of this monitoring device, you don't get to just go get her. There has to be a warrant issued. Is that true?
No, she can be surrendered. She can be surrendered on the terms and conditions of the bail bond.
All right, so let me ask you this. If she's able to get by or get out of this, you personally, can you go get her, or does somebody have to call the cops? How does that work?
Well, she will be taken into custody by someone that can take her into custody, licensed by the state of Florida.
All right, but that would
place.
not be you then?
No, that's part of my team. We have that in place.
Okay, interesting. Bethany Marshall, psychoanalyst, author, Deal Breakers. Boy, I don't know. It seems to me that she's going to a crazy place. I'm not accusing the family of being crazy. I'm just saying that the environment is so dramatic and so stressful and so chaotic. How can this possibly help in finding Caylee or surrendering the truth somewhere?
Well, I don't think it's going to surrender the truth. You know, I keep thinking about the fact that pathological lying, where there's no real true long-term incentive. I mean, there's a short-term incentive to get herself off the hook, but in the long run, there's no incentive to lie like this. It's really associated with antisocial personality disorder, the features of which are recklessness, failure to plan ahead, irritability, aggression, social irresponsibility, like failure to get a job or maintain financial obligations, and also reckless disregard for the safety of others. This is a profound disorder of attachment. People with antisocial personality do not attach or bond to others, to their children, to society, to their family. So if there's no capacity to bond, how is spending time in the bosom of her family going to motivate her to tell the truth? It's essentially, the whole theory is wrong. If she's there just because she wants to be with her family, they want to be with her and have a safe place, that's fine, and she has her constitutional rights, but it's not going to motivate her to tell the truth.
Richard Herman, do you think this is going to help her in any way?
Nancy, Pat, this is not, the purpose of letting her out is not so she can be in a safe, comfortable environment and come clean where the child is.
Well, that's what everybody says it's all about. We're getting her out because in this environment she'll be more inclined to tell the truth after a manicure.
She's charged with a third-degree felony and 2 misdemeanors. It would have been a $15,000 bond in any other case in the state of Florida. $500,000, ankle bracelet. It's absolutely ridiculous. She's not going to talk to anybody.
Law enforcement authorities are the investigative agency, and they're doing everything in their power to find that little girl. And I would just hope that no one would attempt to interfere with that law enforcement investigation.